always wanted to be, I prayed to be a singing cowboy. It's what I wanted to be.
That was Marty's strongest wish, to follow in the footsteps of his hero, Gene Autry, the one man who influenced him more than anyone else throughout his lifetime.
Because, see, when I was a little kid, like 9, 10, and 11 years old, I would pick cotton, or I would clean ditch, whatever I could find a job. I'd have to walk from where I lived, way out on the desert, into the nearest house was about 8 miles. And I wouldn't get but about 25 cents a day, but it only cost, I think, 10 cents to get in the movie. And the biggest bottle of pop that you could get was a nickel, and you could get a big sack of popcorn for 5 cents also. So I'd have a nickel left. Well, I would go in at 12:45 when it opened, and I would stay till Gene Autry was through that night, 10 something. I'd walk back across the desert by myself, you know, just a little kid. But I wasn't afraid, because I had just seen Gene Autry, and I was Gene Autry that night, you know.
Marty built his childhood dreams on fantasies of the Old West. Later, as a young man, movies were no longer an escape. They were reality, as Marty began a long movie career, singing or appearing in more than 20 films. Well, naturally, the scripts were about things that Marty loved the most: country music, racing, and cowboys in the Old West.
Just in my vision, but plainly I see the ranger that killed her is standing there waiting for me. I rise to meet him, my one thought is beating. He deserves death, and I swear that this ranger will die. I beat his jaw and I shot him 6 times just as fast as the bullets could fly. My gun is empty, or more I will shoot him. Now there are others just like him that want me to die. Their bullets are coming my way. How they hurt when they hit me. The pain makes me fall to the ground.
It wasn't unusual for country music fans to spot some of their other favorite singers in Marty's westerns either. He had saddle pals like Webb Pierce, Carl Smith, and the singing sheriff, Mr. Faron Young.
Hello, Walt.
Hello.
Hello, John.
How are you?
Good to be here with you.
Well, thanks for coming out. Why don't you share some experiences? I mean, the early years of Marty in the movies.
The writers, I hear nowadays, complain if you change anything in a script.
Yeah.
Marty Robbins rewrote scripts right as he shot the film. You never knew what he was going to do. I had a death scene one time where I shot Marty. When Marty keeps looking at me, and by the time we really get serious, he gives me this high sign. Well, they got to cut. Cut with this. We did this 30 times. And the worst part was when I finally get him into the local jail, I had to get Marty off the horse and put him on my back, and we was in Kanab, Utah. The sand is this deep. And Marty wasn't all that light. I'm not too big a guy anyway. But I get him over my shoulder, and I'm walking right at the camera, and Marty's goosing me. Nobody can see this. And I'm trying to keep a straight face. So we did this about 10 takes, too, till I was down to my knees in the sand.
Let's get back to Gene Autry for 1 second. There was one story that Marty enjoyed telling about Gene Autry over and over and over.
First time I ever saw him, I came in when the movie was on, and I remember the very first words I heard him say. He had done something that was real great, so they wanted to run him for sheriff of this little town. And so he climbed up into a wagon, and I don't know where the guitar came from, but he got it. And he said, well, he said, I'm not much at making speeches. I guess I'll just have to sing for you. So he sang a song.
You know, if you ever saw Marty's series, The Drifters, now you know that Marty must have took a lesson from Gene Autry, because the Drifters' answer to any situation was to sing a song.
But you're sure a dead ringer for the Sundown Kid. Say, you by any chance play that thing and maybe sing a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I play a few numbers on it.
Well, I happen to know that the Kid couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, so If you can play that thing and sing, I guess, well, maybe you ain't him.
Take the gun barrel off and drop it. Don't make no sudden moves. I ain't shot a revenue in nigh on to a year.
Just do what Pa says.
You pick that thing and sing, stranger?
Oh, a little bit.
Sing us one so while we decide what we're gonna do with you.
I'd shake your hands if I could, but I'm kind of tied up right
Just
now.
a little bit.
Untie him here, boys, and give him back his gun and guitar.
Thanks.
Drifter, it's good to see you again, buddy. No
Good to
kidding,
see
real
you.
Nice. Captain, this Drifter is the singingest one man I ever heard in my life.
Well, what I heard a little while ago, Bob, I'm kind of inclined to go along with you there. Feel like doing another one?
Well, so I sure do. Matter of fact, people tell me that I'd sing at the drop of a hat.
Well, now, if that's all you're waiting for, buddy, there's a hat.
That's enough reason for me to sing.
8 songs in every show. Wow. Now, the Drifter might have been a cowboy, but he was just like Marty. He sang every kind of music, from Mexican to Hawaiian, cowboy, a little bit of everything. You know, one of my favorites was when Tex Ritter talked the Drifter into singing the beautiful song, Cool, Clear Water.
Ain't no water.
All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water, cool water. Oh, Dan and I with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water, cool, clear water.
It didn't matter whether Marty was singing, acting, or writing. He loved the stories inspired by the Old West. In 1959, a very controversial Marty Robbins record was released, and that was to make music history.
Yeah, and I know the song you mean because all the experts out there predicted it would never get on the air.
And all the experts were wrong because that song was called El Paso. The controversy over El Paso was that it was 4 minutes and 37 seconds long. Now, that was an unheard of length for a record in that day and age.
Yeah, just about everybody had something to say about how long it was. But funny thing is, it's still around, ain't it, friends?
The song was heard again and again across the entire country, as it stayed on the charts for 14 months. It earned Marty a gold record, a gold album, and it was the first Grammy ever awarded to a country song.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. By the time it finally came, Rose's cantina, music would play and Polino would whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Polino, wicked and evil while casting a spell. Mexican maiden, I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Paulina, the girl that I love. So in anger I challenged his right to love this lady. Down put his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, shocked for the foul evil deed I had done. Raced through my mind as I stood there. I had the one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of Rosie's I ran, out where the horses were torn. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on his back and away I did ride, just as fast I could from the West Texas town of El Paso down to the Badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso, my life would be worthless gone in life, nothing is left. It's been so long since I've seen the young maid. My love is stronger than my fear of death. I set it up and away I did go, riding alone in the dark. Maybe tomorrow a bullet will find me. Tonight nothing's worse than this pain in my heart. And at last here I am on the hill overlooking El Paso. I can see Rose's cantina below. My love is strong, it pushes me on. Down off the hill to Felina I go. Off to my right I see 500 cowboys. Off to my left, right a dozen or more. Shouting and shooting, I can't let them catch me. I have to make it to Rose's back door. Something dreadfully wrong, for I feel a deep burning pain in my soul. Though I am trying to stay in the saddle, I'm getting weary, unable to ride. But my love for Paulina is strong, and I rise to ride for. Though I am weary, I can't stop to rest. I see the white puff of smoke from the white bowl. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. From out of nowhere, Paulina has found me, kissing my cheek as she kneels by my side. Cradled by two loving arms that I'll die for. One little kiss and blood.